So we can go ahead and fill in our domain and range. And this is only if there is a 3 in the elbow. So whenever you see this 3, that's going to be your domain and range. Okay? So looking at this graph, can someone tell me A, H, and K? What is A? What's the number in front of the cube root? A 1, good. H is under and opposite. 1 again. And what is K? 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to add the 1 all the way down to all of your numbers. Because A is 1, we don't have to include that in our transformation table, but we do need to add 2. So go ahead and do that. Go down, add 1, go down and add 2. So I'm going to freeze my screen while you all come up with your table. If you don't have a calculator on your desk, it might be under your desk. Some have some of them have more than one under. So I'm only graphing the transformation. I'm not going to graph the original because it didn't ask us to. That looks good. All right, see if your table matches my table. Thumbs up if your table is the same as mine. All right, good. Let's go ahead and graph it. So, -7, 0. And then 0, 1. Oops. 1, 2. 2, 3. And 9, 4. Now, we talked about this yesterday, but a square root doesn't have 2 arrows, but a cube root does have 2 arrows. And that's what your graph should look like. So we're going to start the last piece. We do have our first test a week from today. And we're going to start the last thing that is on your test, which is solving square root equations and cube root equations. So let's go ahead and get started. Page 15. The most important part I'm going to highlight is you have to get the radical by itself. Okay? You have to get it by itself. The inverse of a radical is a power. So if it's a square root, we're going to raise it to a power of 2. And if it's a cube root, we raise it to a power of 3. And lastly, we do have to check, but we only check square roots. Only square roots. So this one right here. We do not have to check cube roots. So if there's a 3, we don't check it. Why is that? The reason why is because a cube root has a domain of all real numbers, which means that x can be any number. X can be anything from -infinity to infinity. So we don't have to check our answer. But a square root has to be within a certain range. A square root has a start and an end. So that's why we have to check that. All right, so let's get started. Let's look at our first one. This is my square root. It is by itself. There is nothing in front or behind the square root. It's already isolated. So we're going to raise both sides to the power of 2. How do I know I'm raising it to a power of 2 and not 3? What's the number in the elbow? Nothing. And when there's no number, what does that mean? It's a what? A 2. So everything in math has an opposite. The opposite of adding is subtracting. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. The opposite of a square root is a square. So anytime you square a square root, the only thing it does is erase the radical. It like dissolves it. It goes away. Nothing changes with what's under. So when I do that, I'm left with 2x minus 5 equals 3 squared. What is 3 times 3? Is it 6 or 9? 9. Let's go ahead and solve it from there. Finish it out. What's my next step? Plus 5. So 2x equals 14. And now, I heard Tanya, you are right. Divide by 2. Good job. So we get that x equals 7. But does it act? Oh, yes. What did I do? How did I get who? Oh, there you go. Thank you. Okay. So when you square both sides, we get 3 squared. And 3 squared is the same as 3 times 3. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Thank you, though. I appreciate you. Because, again, I don't know what's going on, but sometimes my mouth doesn't say what I'm thinking, you know? So I need you all to check me if I'm not making sense. Okay, it's just part of growing old. When y'all get old, y'all see. All right, so now let's go ahead and check it. So in order to check it, all I'm going to do is write this equation, but where there's an x, I'm going to put a parentheses. So I'm going to write the square root of 2 times parentheses minus 5 equals 3. And then inside of the parentheses, I'm going to put the answer that I got, which is 7. And what we need to do, we need to see, does this equal 3? If it does equal 3, that means 7 is an answer. If it doesn't equal 3, then there's no solution. Okay? So let's pick up our calculator. Take 2 times 7 minus 5. Two times 7 minus 5 is 9. And does anyone know what the square root of 9 is? 3. Does anyone need help putting in a square root in their calculator? If you need me to show you how to do that, I will do that. So because this is true, this is my solution. Go ahead and circle it. When it's a true solution, we circle it. If it doesn't work, we exit out and say no solution. All right, just a few more for today, and then we'll start our homework. Let's look at our next one. Now, this one is a little different. And it's a little different because, remember, the first step is to isolate. Right now, this box is not by itself. There's an imposter. We have to get rid of the imposter. What is the opposite of subtracting 4? So we have to do that first. We add the 4 because we need that box to be by itself. So what that gives me is the square root of 2x minus 17 equals, and go ahead and see what you get when you take negative 3 plus 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is the same as 4 minus 3. And 4 minus 3 is 1. Now it's by itself. Now that it's alone, we can raise the roof. And I'm going to do that by taking both sides to the index, which is 2. And all that does on the left, yes. So when you add negative 3 plus 4, you get 1. Oh, yeah, that's okay. So when I square both sides, the only thing it's going to do here is get rid of this. That's all it does. Nothing changes with the 2x minus 17. So we have 2x minus 17 equals 1 squared, which is 1. All right, go ahead and solve it. See our answers that we get. Okay, 9, good job. So we're adding 17. 1 plus 17 is 18. And then we divide by 2. We get 9. All right, let's make sure the answer is 9 though. So I'm going to go back to my original equation. I'm going to write it. And I'm not going to do anything but make that x parentheses. And now we're going to drop this 9 right here. And we're going to see if it's true. So let's start off by figuring out what this is. 2 times 9 minus 17. And 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus 17 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. And what is 1 minus 4? What do you get when we take the 1 minus 4? Do we get negative 3? That's what we're trying to check. We do. So it worked. So this is actually my answer. Go ahead and circle it. All right, just 2 more, and then we will start on our homework. Wait, how many more do we have? We have 2 more. Okay. So now we have a couple of things that we have to do. Might be 3 more. We'll see. This here, again, needs to be by itself. But this time we got 2 imposters that we have to get rid of before I can raise the roof. The first imposter is the plus 5. So the opposite would be to subtract 5. So let's do that. The second imposter is the 2. The 2 that's being multiplied, that's an imposter. We got to get rid of it. The opposite of multiplying by 2, dividing by 2. So now I'm down to the square root of 3x minus 2 equals 2. So now that I have eliminated all of my imposters, I can raise the roof. There is an invisible 2, so I'm going to square. I'm going to square both sides. So what is 2 times 2? 4. All right, go ahead and solve it. So I'm going to add 2, which would be 3x equals 6. Then I'm going to divide by 3, and I get x equals 2. All right, let's do our check. So I have 2 times the square root. And I know today all of our checks will work, but we will get to some where it doesn't work. So I'm going to put my 2 right here. Go ahead and see what you get there. So we got 3 times 2, which is 6. And 6 minus 2 is 4. And what is the square root of 4? 2. Two times 2 is 4. And 4 plus 5 is 9. So it does work. That is my answer. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, let's go to the next page. We only got 2 more, and then we'll be finished with our square roots. Tuesday, because we don't come on Monday. Amen. Hallelujah. We will talk about cube roots. So today we're just going to focus on square roots. Your test is a week from today, so next Friday. You will get your study guide on Wednesday. Okay. So last 2. So this one is actually a little easier because see how we have 2 square roots, right? So when there's 2 square roots, we just square both sides. And we get rid of them on both sides. So that'll be 2x plus 2 equals x plus 4. All right, go ahead and solve that. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract x. Bring that over. So then that gives me x plus 2 equals 4. Then I'm going to subtract the 2, and I get x equals 2. Who got x equals 2? All right, let's do our check. So I have the square root of 2 times 2 plus 2 equals the square root of 2 plus 4. So go ahead with your calculators. Type this in, see what you get. Type this in, see what you get. They need to be the same number. If we get the same number, that means it worked. My goodness, y'all. Whoever yawned, you pass it to me. It passes along. All right, what did you get on the side that I highlighted blue? What number did you get? All right, what did you get on the side that I highlighted pink? So this is true. So this is my actual answer. All right, last one for today. Same type of question. Go ahead and square both sides so you can raise the roof. I'm going to give you a second to try to do that one on your own, and then we'll go through it. Because that one is just like the last one. 5 minus 1 is 4. It's okay. Make sure. Yeah. And that's a minus 3. So don't forget to put that minus. So this minus needs to carry down. So that'll be 4x plus 1 equals negative 3. Okay. Small mistakes, nothing big, just really minor mistakes, which are common. So the biggest mistake I saw coming around is when that's a minus in front, you can't just get rid of it. That minus travels down. All right, so 4x plus 1 equals a negative 3, not a positive 3. That was really the only mistake I saw. All right, so now let's check it. Let's see if this is true. Pick up your calculators, type that in, and then type this in. They have to be the same number. So did you get negative 4 for both? Yes, no? Yes, no. Okay, so that means that this is your answer. All right, now let's talk about our homework. The only questions, because we still have a lot to cover, we got 2 more days before we finish. So number 1, this homework is due next Thursday. So write on that is due next Thursday, January 22nd. Okay, to get full credit, it needs to be turned in by Thursday, January 22nd. So now, oh, the homework is up here, Kathy. I'm sorry. Did everybody pick up the homework? Okay. So now, let's go ahead and get started. The only ones I want you to focus on today, I do want you to skip a couple, are 1, 2, and 4. That's it. 1, 2, 4, and 7. Sorry. 1, 2, 4, and 7. Skip the other ones for now. Okay, we're going to come back to those. Remember, we just do a little bit every day. As long as you're doing the little bit every day, you'll be finished and ready to turn it in next Thursday. Next Wednesday. You'll be finished. Okay, so looking at question 1, can we square both sides? Do we have any imposters? Is that radical by itself? So right here, is anything over there except for that? No. We can raise the roof. How do we raise the roof? We raise it to whatever number is in the elbow, which in this case is a 2 because we don't see anything. And what that's going to give you is 3n plus 1 equals 5 squared. And what is 5 squared? 25. All right. Pause on that question. I just want to get you started, and you can easily go back and finish it. I just want to help you all get started. So pause there. Now let's look at number 2. You can go back and finish that one on your own. Number 2, we do have an imposter. We have to get rid of the imposter. Before we raise the roof, we have to get rid of this 2. How do I get rid of it? You said what? Not divide, because there's a plus sign. Subtract. Now, if it was like leaning up on the radical, that would be division. It's not leaning on it. It's just in front. So we're going to subtract it. So that's the square root of 3p plus 7. And 6 minus 2 is 4. Now you can raise the roof. And that will give you 3p plus 7 equals 16. All right, leave that on the stove. Come back to it. Finish it. Finish it later. Now let's skip 3. Let's get started on number 4. What I want to tell you for number 4 is the answer is a fraction. All right, don't think you're wrong if you get a fraction. We'll actually do that one together. We'll do the whole thing. Let's look at number 4. So, do we have an imposter? Yep, we do. It's that plus 7. How do I get rid of it? Subtract it. So I have the square root. Q looks like a 9, so I really do not. Well, no, well, I guess it doesn't. I don't know why I said that. It's not. Okay, that equals a 3. Okay, got that. Let me pull this up. Now, I can raise the roof. When you raise the roof, we're going to raise both sides to a power of 2. All that does is get rid of the roof. So I have 5q plus 1 equals 9. All right, let's keep going. Again, our answer is going to be a fraction, and that's okay. Fractions need love too. They're people. We can't hate on them. Okay? So we're going to subtract the 1. Then I'm going to divide by 5. So my answer is q equals 8 over 5. So now let's do our check. When I do my check, I have the square root of 5. Then I'm going to put this in the parentheses, plus 1. And then on the outside, I have a plus 7. That equals 10. Okay, so here, whenever you multiply a number by a fraction, and you see how these numbers are the same? You see how I have a 5 being multiplied by a fraction that also has a 5? What that does, it just cancels out the 5. So what you're left with is the square root of 8 plus 1 plus 7 equals 10. And what is 8 plus 1, y'all? 9. So I have the square root of 9 plus 7 equals 10. And what is the square root of 9? 3. 3 plus 7 equals 10. And what's 3 plus 7? 2? 10. So this worked. So my answer is a fraction. So that's your freebie. So use the rest of the time to finish numbers 1 and 2 and do 7. And then that's it.